So a lot of people expected me to do a video about Jamaica this time, but I mean, you already know about Jamaica, you know about like what goes on here, you live here all your life, so I just never saw the need to do it. So instead, since it's February, and if you're like me, you'd be like, holy, what? I mean, it was just New Year. Yeah. February is not one of my favorite months, and I guess I'm just going to give you a few reasons why. Primarily Black History Month, which I like, but I don't like at the same time. And I mean, it's just my opinion. I don't really expect you to agree with me, but I'm just going to share what I think about it. I've never really felt like a connection to Black History Month. Like, I understand why it was needed or why it's important to have it, but at the same time, it just seems very counterproductive to me. Like when I was young, you know, in school, in prep school, you always hear about Black History Month, and in school they would teach you about like the national heroes, and they'll teach you about like other important figures in Black history. But it was always either like what they teach you in school or what you saw on TV. And if you grew up with cable in your house, it would always be like on American TV channels, they'd have like movies about like American history, and most of them were about slavery. And I was saying to myself, Black history isn't about slavery. Black history happened, there was history before slavery. Like, Black people have been around for as long as and before recorded human history, so why isn't that a part of what we're learning as well? And it was just like, I never felt the need to want to understand like African history like at all until like my second year in college, and I don't think that's right. I don't think me as a person, especially having an African father who comes from that country, I never felt like I wanted to understand it, learn it more until I did an African art class in second year, and then I was just like, you know, there's so much that, you know, you can know. Like, I was just blown away by it, and I think a lot of people are missing out on it. A lot of children are missing out on their African history, their Black history, because what we see is either slavery, which is an important part of African history, I mean Black history, but it's not the only part. Why not just title Black History Month, we're sorry about slavery, let's just give you a month to remind you about slavery. You know, that's probably what they should just call it anyway. And then they show you the other side, which is like fighting oppression and fighting slavery, but it's always still about slavery and still about white people and what they did to Black people, which is not the only part of African history. So yeah, I think we need to know more about where we're coming from. Like, what are your roots? What happened thousands of years before slavery? Because that's a part of African history. I mean, people still don't know that Egypt is a part of Africa, which is ridiculous, you know? Everybody knows about Egypt. And then, like, you know, you have shows like The Mummy, and in The Mummy, all the Egyptians are white. Like, it's just so funny to me that that's a part of what they're showing us now, and still there's so much more that we can know. There's so much more that what they're showing us is untrue, and it's like a fraction of what the actual knowledge is. So that always bothered me about Black History Month, and I don't know if there even still needs to be one. I don't know if there's a lot of arguments now, like on the internet or in the media, about like whether we need Black History Month anymore, like if it's just perpetuating this whole inequality, or like just kind of segregating Black people still from like general public, like just people as a whole. Why do we need to be Black people as opposed to like every other people? Why not have like a Hispanic History Month, like a Latin History Month, because there are other cultures that went through oppression as well. Why not have a Jew History Month? Why not have Asian History Month or something? It just never made sense to me why we're the only ones that got this. And I mean, yeah, it's great or whatever, but I don't know. But anyway, this is just my views about it, and they're just like learning African art, like learning about African art and in turn African culture as a whole. It's just so much knowledge and so much, you know, just things that I think everybody should know if you're from African descent, even if you're not from African descent. I mean, the majority of Jamaicans are from African descent. We came from the slaves who came from West Africa, you know, and we don't know anything about Africa. And half of us don't even want to know anything about Africa, which I think is pretty sad, you know. Not saying that African culture is our culture, but if you're going to talk about Black history, you're going to have to talk about African history. It's a part of our history. So yeah, I just wanted to kind of talk about that for a little bit. I don't know, just kind of facilitate a discussion throughout the month about it, what people's views are about African history and Black History Month, whether we need a Black History Month, whether we don't need a Black History Month, whether Black History Month is an American thing that we really need to be, do we need to be practicing it here in Jamaica as much as they do abroad, you know. So yeah, just let me know, just comment on it, you know, on Facebook or whatever. And another thing I don't like about February is just that it's just so, I don't know, this is so kind of boring to me. I don't know. I rarely know anybody that's born in February. I mean, the only holiday in February is Valentine's Day, and even then, you know, you don't really get any day off from school or anything. It's just like another way for, what's it called, the corporate companies to make money. Yeah, so that's it. Just remember to like and subscribe to the page if you want more videos from us. Yeah, that's it. Bye.